corner where I caught the bus. Thinking in my head it's colder than I thought it was. Sometimes life is like that, and you just quiver your lips, whisper a wish, hoping someone might give us deliverance. Now deliver this message, think I could live with this message. You could just give a few seconds to come and sit in my presence. And yes, it is so precious, yes, it is a blessing. Next, I'll attempt to express it with every heavy breath, cause just to make it worth it, and just to make it real, you always made it perfect, and that's the way I feel. Sometimes we think too much, and we lose control, but it's not what you know, no, it's who you know. Days that will not end, I'm sure you've had them too, wishing you're still in bed, and yet we have to move. This is what passion do, this is what passion does. It's on my planets too, start sending back the love. Snowflakes fell like a gift from the skies, and teardrops swelled when I lifted my eyes. And it was surely just brightness that had informed in me, while the storm in the streets was adorning the trees, and it clothed each branch with a layer of the purest snow. And this miracle was a little less than a year ago. Now summer's almost over, the weather's growing colder, approaching frozen soldiers, a Minnesota soldier. Backpack on my shoulder, days on shoulder, I spend most alone. Still growing older, feeling lonesome though I'm close to home. I'm the city bus and both I'm closing, I'm the open road. My soul is swollen though I'm holding on, and so it goes. And sometimes when it's dark, I look up at the stars, think about how small we are, but at least we have hearts, getting past my speeding cars. On these streets of ours, I want to be the cause for someone's grief to pause. Cause just to make it worth it, and just to make it real, you always made it perfect, and that's the way I feel. Sometimes we think too much, and we lose control, but it's not what you know, no, it's who you know. Days that will not end, I'm sure you've had them too, wishing you're still in bed, and yet we have to move. This is what passion do, this is what passion does. It's on my planets too, start sending back the love. I can't even get emotional, cause even though this road is negotiable, this is a road I chose, going solo, feeling solo, when they don't know the things I'm supposed to know. But so, I know some brothers that are rolling in the same road with the same goal, and they say focus. So just focus, and you don't quit, it's a long way to go, I'ma need y'all to go with. I got your back like the shirt takes size, no matter what it is, yes sir, that's right. Even when you act like a dirtbag guy, admit never both for sure, that's why I keep no accounts of flaws, keep holding out for y'all. People is all we are, you know I'm down by law. Cause just to make it work, and just to make it real, you always made it perfect, and that's the way I feel. Sometimes we think too much, and we lose control, but it's not what you know, no, it's who you know. Days that will not end, I'm sure you've had them too, wishing you're still in bed, and yet we have to move. This is what passion do, this is what passion does. It's on my planets too, so I'm sending back the love. Cause just to make it worth it, and just to make it real, you always made it perfect, and that's the way you feel. Sometimes we think too much, and we lose control, so it's all this for all of the fools we know.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. It is me, Duke CT, back with you once again in this lovely Thursday after Thanksgiving, after Survivor Series, after the huge breaking news. TNA, total nonstop action wrestling, has now have its TV deal celebration. I think, let's see. I think there is. Wait a second. There it is. I got a little bit more sounds there. And doesn't that sound good? Doesn't that sound, some good stuff there? Big things popping, little things stopping. Anyway, well, let's see. But yeah. So, just want to get this thing party started. And, well, it's just that, just the show. I mean, the Dukect Lounge, thank you so much for watching. But yeah, TNA Wrestling, many trials, many stipulations, has made this finally the stuff possible. Thanks to a lot of this stuff here, because I am an old school TNA fan. I have been a fan since many moons ago, where they were showing previews of TNA on, like, I think Comcast, okay, menus. Oh, TNA Wrestling. I watched that in 04 and 05. I watched a little bit of the Fox News Sportsnet. for a minute. Then they went to online. Then they went to Spike TV. And man, it was from it is was one of the most a long, and I'll say this was a long. Oh, what's up? Go ahead, Huggins, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Anyway, anyway, but yeah, TNA wrestling. I've been a fan of this company for a very, very, very long time. I have hoped that it would actually happen very soon. I hope they would get to this position because I think that TNA, like I said, I've been a fan for the company for a very long time. It has been something that had, when they screwed up Spike TV, then they went to Destination America, then they went to Pop TV, then they went to Pursuit Television, where Pursuit Television didn't even show the right the right impacts. It showed reruns of it. You had to go on Twitch TV, Twitch, Twitch. They had to stream on Twitch. You know, and now when you have, they went to this Access TV, but now they have a huge TV deal. It's going to be. Let me see. Look at this. The Thursday Night Impact. It's going to be two Thursday. They stay on Thursdays, so they're not going to go on AEW. Then maybe they can finally take on checking out ROH. But yeah, but this, yeah, 9 o'clock. It will be now at 9 to 11. Very interesting from Access Television, which is and everything else. They were going to go to Thursday. You want to do, like I said, the reports, rumors. We're going to go against Dynamite, but now it's Thursday Night Impact, which I think is probably for the best because I don't think with this roster and stories, I don't think TNA, unless they're going to be really helped by WWE and NXT, which even then that might hurt their stuff. So I don't think they'll be good enough to actually take on and actually beat AEW. But I think right there, what they need to do is to solidify Thursday nights at this position. They're going to have all the stuff here. They're saying, Carlos Silva is saying, they want the fan base, hottest stars, everything else. They're like the X division and knockout division, and hopefully groundbreaking partnership with NXT. And I honestly think the reason why the partnership, what's funny? That TNA went this crazy journey. It started, when TNA wrestling, when Hogan and Bischoff and Dixie Carter, put her in that position too. You put Jeff Jarrett and Russo and all that stuff there, that whole mix. Put the company on Spike TV getting 1.1 million viewers. I put Mania Hall, and then not only they lost those viewers, the idiotic Monday Night War bit, but also got it kicked off on Spike TV and into this weird nebulous realm of fell. It took multiple partnerships with other promotions. It took AEW and WWE to get it back to its position where it was in 2010. There and back again. Jeez Louise. That is, what would you call that, ladies and gentlemen? What do you call that? That is one heck of a tale. And they're right back where everything started. So what is this? What does this mean for Total Nonstop Action? What does it mean for all the other stuff here? Well, hopefully, is a brand new start, better storytelling. My hope is that. My hope is better stuff because right now with their, one-time champion Mike Santana and Frank Kazan, they need new, interesting stories because them having the NXT lowercase like people who have not been, they have like these bodies from NXT and not doing anything with them. And this whole NXT, The fact they already had a huge thing. It was called Showdown or Invasion or whatever it was going to be called. And yet it still didn't. It just like, and it went and it tied. It was a 4-4 tie. So they just shook hands and said, well, that's it. We don't need to do anything else anymore. What are we doing here? What is this? What is this whole? What are we doing for this the whole situation here? And that's my fear. If you're, because I still am, I still keep my feelers in the TNA. I still do. Even though I mainly hang out in the AEW, New Japan, I'm trying to get more into Stardom and all the other indies, Fight Pro and ASE and all this other stuff. I try to a New Texas Pro, and I'm getting more into West Coast Pro. I'm getting more into pro wrestling and that stuff. But I honestly think this could be a really positive thing, something really good. And they say that Dan McDermott, right here, the chief content officer of AMC Networks and president of AMC Studios, explained that their network and TNA fit together well because both sides put fans at the center of everything they do. Okay. This must have been this man must be new to TNA because, oh boy, yeah, they never had that, bro. Oh man, that is a very loaded statement there. But yeah, this is like little PR stuff here. TNA is a aggressive growth that's driven by stories, characters, and non-stop action fans loved. We put fans in the center of everything we do, and TNA has built this brand programming around the same definition and our focus. With great opportunity to come together to make Thursday Night Impact a dynamic thing. We could, but then a weekly event, yada yada yada. So, but it's gonna be on AMC Plus. I wonder how much. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let me show you. Let's see. How many subscribers? Right now, oh, by the way, AMC Plus, right there is, oh boy. Last I checked, because this was made the story here, AMC Plus, the streaming thing, it dropped to 10.2 million. Oh boy. Yeah, that's not a good look. Yeah, the DSC is counted 10.2 million subscribers. Oh boy, and it's down from 10.4 million from last year. Oh well, that's that's not good. Let's see. Well, but hey, hopefully it's maybe they can have they could add like 100,000 fans with TNA, so maybe something. Hopefully, maybe. Oh gosh. Oh boy. That's yeah. But yeah, this is interesting. They actually did a pro wrestling reality show in 2014, but never end up airing. So yeah. And but yeah, they were looking for, by the way, TNA wrestling, back to the point. They were looking for like $30 million and the help of the TNA wrestling and such to help what they did. They got WWE was in central with the deal because they're the they are the whole technical of like we're partners, so we can make that sort of stuff. So yeah, aka it's another feeding system for WWE, which already has AAA and Evolve and NXT. Yeah. A little water. Anyway, so what is my like I said, I'm happy for him. I hope it does well, even though I think they've lost. Let me see if I can get this. Let's see. Let's see. Um. Guess this wrestler's not going to join us for the TNA thing. Lena Cross. She is signed for wrestling, but yet my world hasn't. Seriously, they need to sign her yesterday. But still, she's worked with Cross. She worked with, I think, DPW, JCW, Limitless, and everything else. But also, she actually was in TNA. Probably like a whole. I think she worked a tag match with Rosemary against some people. But yeah, it's very interesting. I just very interesting though. By the way, there's a ton of wrestlers they have not signed. By the way, they have not signed and for anything else. They haven't signed them. You know, they haven't signed these. Mostly about AJ Francis. I think Rick Swan. They haven't re-signed him. Cedric Alexander, the Inspiration. There's a lot of people too that needs to re-sign. There's a lot of them that need to re-sign. If not, they're going to be in a very, like, hey, we got this new T swap, but yet, guess what? You don't have any wrestlers, so you're going to be doing more involved and all this other talent. You need to start signing those people now, and hopefully start building your stuff and everything else. And by the way, sign BDE, by the way, who a YouTuber and such. Hopefully he signs a deal. He needs to sign it because he has looked like he looks good. And I wouldn't be surprised he does. That YouTuber who was a wrestler and everything else. So yeah, I think TNA wrestling, they need some people to be signed. They need to get some exclusive deals. They need to build. If you want to be the big top guy, you got the big deal. Now let's see what you can do with it. And I just think the stories that they're going to tell, I don't think they have enough story. I don't think the stories are good enough, personally. But I hope that they have this. This will be the kick in the rear end that they need, because right now they feel like it's the feeder system to the feeder system, and I hope that changes. I want them to stand on their own 2 feet, and I don't know. I just think there won't be a very I just, in my personal opinion, I could be wrong. I hope that they will continue to grow, but hopefully they use the stories to actually build up some things. Anyway, that's all I have to say about that. I want to hear what your thoughts are about to say. Leave something in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll be right back right after this, and we're going to be talking about, Slammiversary. I think Slammiversary was actually pretty decent, but the WWE PLE I'm talking about is Survivor Series. I have my thoughts about that, and I will get to them right after this little break here. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. All these other things. We'll be right back here on the Dukect Lounge. We'll be right back right after this. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. It is me, Duke CT, back with you once again. And man, oh man, let us get into Survivor Series. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about Survivor Series. All right, let me just get this stuff here. Oh, I just wish I can find the pictures. I know it was a key. Oh, there we are. Hey, I got the pictures, though. Let's see. Get this thing right here and let's started. All right. I got to say this: the women's war games match I liked, and I think there was some good stuff. Let's see, I think Asuka and all it was good. Io was good. Io has been on the tear this year, and I like the fact that Io and Rhea Ripley have made this. I mean, they have a concentrated effort to build the women's tag division. But the problem is, and I can say I wouldn't say this to AEW because there's a lot more, singles. It hurts the women's stuff there too. But we'll get to that later. The women's if I think it was good PG stuff there. You have Becky Lynch trying to look cool there. Um, the T stuff. Look, it's interesting. Becky has done the yeoman's work for bringing up the mid card. She did it with Leia Valkyria. She did it with Maxine. AJ, and you see right here, she's doing it with Charlotte. She has this way of bringing everyone up, this Herculean task of building everyone up around her. And I think that's one of the most important things about this whole thing, about Becky Lynch's character. You can say that. Alexa Bliss, she, this, by the way, the one thing I never liked is that the baby faces, I think, the baby faces had the right way, and it doesn't really work because you have the heels have this should always dominate in war games, and that's the problem when you look at war games in any other that's why it didn't work in 2022. I think was when the bloodline was like the baby face, the crowd did not care. I remember that crowd did not care about that match until the end and everything else. And I think that's one of the problems you have. And AEW did it great because they injured them, and then next they had that whole, oh, we still have now the main event with the Death Riders and the conglomeration. And it was really good idea. And yeah, Io Sky, she's doing, I think Io Sky is doing stuff there. And you see this, Charlotte, this, and oh, this one. Oh, tag team, they do a triple tag team. Some fun, some good stuff. You got AJ Lee showing up. I think where's this? Where's the one here? They climbing in. There was an AJ Lee and Asuka stare down, and I don't think it's not here, by the way. Advertisement. It's a shame, but yeah, there was a stare down between AJ Lee and Asuka. They both know there's something there, and I wish there was something in that position. A few there, but I think AJ, I think she just beats Becky, and she's there for a couple years. So I think AJ and Asuka, you can put that as a WrestleMania match, sure, put that as a Mania match. But I think do I trust WE to do it well? I don't know, but I think it'll be something interesting. Let's see, let's continue on. Nia Jax, she did her stuff. Luckily, she didn't have a chair that she just lightly did the Hogan chair stuff, which is just lightly like dip, dip. But yeah, it was a PG street fight in War Games, which okay, fine, but it just feels not much. And then you have Rhea Ripley, her whole stuff there, the Terrifier thing, and she looks absolutely terrified. But also, she's the biggest star in the match, and it just Rhea Ripley, and that's what and such, and doing the trash can spots, just really good stuff here. And yeah, I think Lash Legend came out and the crowd did not. I hate the fact they put her. Lash Legend should not be. Nia Jax should be the last woman out of the whole thing. Lash Legend should honestly be the first or the second person or third. Do not put her in that position because she doesn't have the recognition. She doesn't have that. It was like, who is she? That's the problem, and I hate that because she did recently, but man, they did not help her. And I always believe you have to help your talent, not hurt your talent. And then when the match beyond happens, it just only lasted 8 minutes, and you just like some big stuff and Alexa Bliss and stuff, and then your EO Sky come in, do a whole swan time while everybody's standing in the position. Everyone's staying in the position. I know it's EO Sky. They do that. I'm like, it's a brand now. You have to do it. EO has to do the spot. It's there for the marketing. It's not organic anymore. They just took the organicness and drained it of every single thing worthy of it. And now here we are. You know, it is the monkey's paw's wish of, just like, oh, you know, this type of stuff here. It is the monkey's paw's wish of doing this type of thing. It is the monkey's paw's wish that like, oh man, I hate this Five High Survivor Series stuff. I hate it. It's the dumbest thing out here. And then here we are, right there. It's just this. It's just like I guess it curls in and curls, and then next thing you know, and then we have this. It's just like it is a corporatized, bland, terrible thing, and I hate that because the ladies deserve better. I think Io Sky, she did some good war games in NXT, some decent war games in NXT. And I think that's one thing I think the problem is when you do war games and there's not it just feels like it was just a here we are, there's no story behind it. Here we are, there's no story behind it. And that's the real issue with these war games. And most of them were like, there's nothing here. In fact, I'll say this: the whole MFTs versus so those random guys with Sami Zayn and all that type of stuff. I felt that had more of a story than the women's matches or the men's. It felt that's there's nothing here, you know, and that's my worst gripe about it. There's no connection, no story. Just like here you go, toys on the thing with nothing here. Just here's the spot. There we are. That's what it is. And it frustrates me because I know they can do better and they should do better. And they don't. They just don't. And I hate that. I absolutely hate that how this company just continues to live on mediocrity. And the people seem to okay with it. Mediocrity is fine. Mediocrity is okay for most people. We should divert they better. By the way, they win and it was top up by AJ Lee. I think Saturday main event they'll do it, and I'll have AJ take on Asuka. I think that'll be a good match. They have to drop the tag belts, but sure, I don't care. I think Asuka versus AJ Lee at WrestleMania is a good match there. You could do something. It's a first time ever match. You built that up for WrestleMania. And it's a non-title match. You have a good Legends match there. Why not? You have 2 nights anyway. With something interesting. But hey, well, the women's match. But now we get to the next match. The next match. Oh man. Dumb. Yeah, that's how I felt about this match. I guess. Same shit this day. I know. It just feels this match. Oh, this was a and by the way, there's 4 matches here. 4 matches. And it felt long and boring. I watched this on, like I said, I have a old VPN and Netflix and all that and you add that all up. And let me tell you, commercials, and so much commercials. Heck, when I went to WrestleMania, 38? And it was a fun time. Great time. Met some good people, met some cool people, watched some good shows. I think I watched Bandito live for the first time and multiple times. Just awesome stuff, man. Great times, great memories, all the good stuff there. Really fun times. But man, there were commercials. I saw commercials. I saw promos like for people who weren't there. People were going to be there like the other night, but not the same night. I was like, what are you doing? And then there was no matches at WrestleMania, no dark matches, no anything. That to me frustrates me. That is frustrating to me. And if I go up to another event, that would be even worse for this. You got 4 hours, like 4 matches in like 3 hours. And I'm like, jeez, it is no. And by the way, Blood and Guts, which is if this was the case, Tony Khan is a smart man. He did some kind of programming, and it's like for all you can say about AEW, Blood and Guts, the women's Blood and Guts was great. Hobbs and Hangman's great, even though I keep saying Hobbs should be a world champion, but I keep saying that, and it just no one no one cares. But yeah, Hobbs, great. That was fun. And it was a steel cage. And then the men's, I'm like, that was great. All of it felt great. And it felt, I was like, you had 3 matches. And it was awesome. 3 matches was great. And it felt like it was real. It felt not just real, but just like it was just engagement, and there was some like stuff there you don't like or what have you. But I felt, oh my gosh, I felt something watching this match. I felt something watching the Blood and Guts. Here, it's just there's nothing here. And look, Cena's whole last time is now probably the worst retirement angle I've ever seen in my life. I've seen some good stuff. I've seen bad, but this is the absolute worst retirement run ever. And I'm like, why does Cena need to lose the Intercontinental Championship? It just felt like it was a pointless thing here. And this whole match felt like this was a bells and whistles match. And by the way, Cena, I know he can't go as much as that. I think he did a pretty good job with that Cody Rhodes match. I think he did a good job. Logan Paul, I think he did a really good job. In those certain matches. I think the Chamber was decent, but that was other people there. There was some other stuff there. I think he did a pretty good job. There were some really good matches. Him and AJ had some good matches. Him and AJ really good. Him and like I said, Cody and that street fight was good. And I'm like, you don't need this much smoke and mirrors. You got Dom Mysterio. Let me see if I actually have this here. Here we are. We'll work this, that. Let's see. Eddie Guns a frog. Oh yeah. It was they jumped him, by the way. But yeah, he was hurt. Dom was hurt or what have you. And they had a whole time. They sat there. It was way too long. Then you had the ladies come in and just let me see where the ladies are. Okay. Raquel Rodriguez, she got much better. I will say. Taking down Cena, then Cena and Roxanne with pop rocks as well. And then Dominic came up, and then the referee, just said, "Oh no, this is BS," and then called him out and got all the people away from it. It was it felt like it was like fine, whatever. They did some smoke and mirrors and everything else, and then he did this. Oh, you can't see me. They got a little quickie. He said, one more time, you can't see me. It was cute. There was some fun stuff here. But then after the circle and the FFA, and then he does this terrible STF, which it's a choice. It's always been a choice. He was bad with that move before, when he was doing that. Like, the STFU or the STF. There were people, it was poorly. And I say this, Cena is not a bad wrestler. He is actually pretty good at what he can do. When he knows his limitations, he could do some really good brawling, and he's really good. I mean, look at the Umaga stuff. look at the I Quit match with him and Randy Orton. Look at like, hey, the one recent with him and Cody Rhodes, that street fight. Let's see what else. With him and Cena, I think. I think heck, CM Punk, him versus CM Punk, him versus Edge. There's a lot of really good Cena matches that have hardcore, even like regular straight up matches. So, but here, gosh, it just maybe it is just this was a match was a choice, and seeing that terrible STF, and then you had the Judgment Day, see Finn do he got his legs up, and then boom, and then he moves, and then does a double AA, and then another AA, and then Liv Morgan came in, slaps him, and then next you know jumps to Cena's arms, and then next you know attacks him, and it was like so much bullshit. And it was so much BS. I hate that. I hate it because it should not be this way. It should not be this, you know, BS. I hate this because it's so much, you know, it just proves the point that Vince Russo won. I mean, this was WCW 2000. People will be saying if this happened and this happened all like, our TNA with Jeff Jarrett. Everyone said this is bad. But now everyone starts to like this again. See what I'm saying? I keep saying this on all the stuff. Vince Russo won. You know why people said this match was good? This match was terrible. Too much BS, too much interference, too much anything else. And I'm like, personally, I wish they would have had Cena at War Games and not have this rematch and such. I wish the last time it's now should have been the Intercontinental Championship and have him and lose the belt and have that more, have that much more of a statement for a young guy like say Kamal Hayes or someone like that instead of the old guys who are in that stuff here, the old people. It's a waste. And I feel like this was way too much. And the Judgment Day, I mean, Dom wins, and I'm like, man, this match was terrible. And I'm tired of all of this stuff. And meanwhile, so many people do that frog splash better. Shout out to Kevin Knight. Shout out to Leon Slater. Shout out to all these other people who do these, those that type of, the frog splash so much better. I am just, frustrated at this. That's what it just feels like. I just don't like this. I don't like these stuff here. I didn't like this match. Ugh. And then we get to this match here. Stephanie Raquel versus Nikki Bella. This was a Raw match. No, I would say this is better. This was a main event match. No. This match, if it was this match was so this, I feel like this would be a velocity match or something. Goodness gracious, Stephanie Raquel is wasting her time with this person. I understand it. Nikki Bella, I know this is gonna piss people off. She's cooked, and she wasn't really that good to begin with. She was good maybe promos, and people remember her, and like, oh, the Total Divas, and people like that, and the reality shows. And I get there's a whole fan base of hers and everything else with it. And I'm like, hey, fine. Okay. I'm okay. You know what? Fine. But this was, I'm like, this is a problem. You have all your main talent. Your main talent is so focused on the tag division stuff. You get your women's champion is Stephanie. What has she done? She beaten Tiffany Stratton, and she's been feuding the Judgment Day off and on, and all this other stuff. And I'm like, at this point, it just feels like her championship run has been marked with failure. And at this point, I think Liv Morgan is probably going to win the title, and I think that's probably for the best. She needs I mean, it feels like honestly a longer version of my personal opinion about Randy Orton's championship. If like he's there, let me just link those positions up. That her first championship mirrors that of Randy Orton's a bit because Randy Orton was not even close to ready to hold that belt. And I think that Stephanie O'Carroll has been groomed to be that. She's really gonna be great. She's great in NXT and everything else. I think she was primed to win the Intercontinental title. I think that is something she should be doing right now, the Intercontinental Championship. She should be winning the Intercontinental Championship and build herself up there. And then I think probably at SummerSlam next year, she and Rhea Ripley should have fought for that world title. But now it's just here. I honestly wouldn't be surprised like this. We got pull the shoe for this title run. I think Liv Morgan is going to face her at the whole thing with Monday Night Raw. They're going to face, and I would not be surprised if Liv Morgan wins that championship and Stephanie O'Carroll goes into the makeup. Maybe she goes to SmackDown, and she'll probably have face Julia or something to build her up because Julia has been completely and totally been regards to relevancy. She had one of those longest U.S. championship runs, and no one remembers her. And I worry about that because now what is she going to do? I wouldn't be surprised she gets released. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. And I look at this and I hate that because she deserves better. I think Nikki Bella, she's a Hall of Famer, fine, but she doesn't need to come back in the main event match this way. It's a terrible match. Just there hasn't been really good matches here. I mean, the women's fight's fine, but then you get to our main event. CM Punk, World Heavyweight Champion, close to 50, should never win a world title. And I said this given to AEW, should never win the title in AEW, should never win the world title now. And you got Braun Breaker, who should just beat the crap out of him, and he does. And just keeps going in, just press stamming him. And they're having a match on January 5th, Raw. Breaker should just beat him in 2 minutes. Spear, boom, 2, 3, done. We move on. Because no, unless I feel like there's going to be some chicanery, there's going to be some, some smoke and mirrors to keep Punk hold the title, which I wouldn't be surprised because, well, WWE needs to have its old people here. They need the old guys here. They need old people. WWE loves its old guys. They love them. Sweet Lord. Too many old people. Drew McIntyre, and then him fighting against Punk, and then Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes with a black eye. Cody Rhodes and the Rhodes. QB1, Cody Rhodes in a dive with his horrible neck tattoo, and he yells. He yells up, and oh boy, this move. I thought he broke his neck. I thought he broke his damn neck with this. That Doomsday. I've seen. Look, I don't know what it is in the WWE ring or NWA ring, but they can't do the Doomsday device right. I mean, first I saw it badly done by Dark State or what have you. Didn't know what they're doing here. Now you got Punk and Cody. I mean, Punk and then Braun just landing on the top of his head. Jeez Louise, that was just one of the worst things. They didn't have that picture up. I know it's the picture there, but Jesus, man, it is messed up. You know what? And somehow he's moving. I don't know his neck. Talk about neck strong. Talk about neck strong, ladies and gentlemen. Oh man, Braun is something else. Then you get Logan Paul. Let's see, most humble. Yeah. Logan Paul, both of them doing this. It feels like they're going on stuff, and then Big Jim, going Jimmy Uso, and he does his moves and the stuff like that. And the cage, and then you got big old Bronson Reed, Tsunami smashing everybody. Cody's busted open. It's amazing the men can bust open, but the women they'll stop the show for that. But yeah, whatever. And then another tsunami. Everyone's beaten down, and then the Yeet Man has cometh. Yeet Man has cometh. Yes, the Yeet Man comes in and he runs down and beats everyone up. But I do like the fact that he takes everyone down. Let's run it back, says the man who says he's not an entrance. Let's run back the entrance. And then me, Oos, day one is there's everyone yeeting. It's the Yeet Mania. Everyone's doing a yeet. Just yeet. And head, which fine, the people love that. They love it. They get out there. Him, and then he climbs on the top of the cage and does some weird, very weird things to that cable, which definitely is not PG. And then after that, guess who comes back? Oh, big old stone hand, big old fat ham, Brock Lesnar. There it is. Dum ba dum bum ba dum bum. And he goes and he destroys everyone and rips and tears and everything else. And Suplex City, F5, Suplex City, F5, and everything else. Chair shots. And then, oh, the OTC, the man, Roman Reigns, at the, he comes in. Hold on. Gosh, I love Little Ice Cube. Anyway, it's Roman Reigns. He comes to save the day, and he got the whole Superman punch. And another one, but then doesn't work, and then he gets F5'd on those big, expensive tables, and it collapses. And then, yeah, Roman did get spiked. Not that way. But anyway, Roman and Brock Lesnar smiling and laughing, having a gun, but then Roman comes back and spears everybody. Breaker comes in, and the match, and this match was there for only 5 minutes. Breaker spears, and then the mystery man of the hour. And people said now they think it's Randy Orton, which is the most dumbest thing out there. Wouldn't make any sense. It's Austin Theory, first off. Secondly, people saying it might be Seth, which would be hilarious because another swerve. Because hey, let's swerve the guys again, guys. That's not going to belittle trust or what have you. Who's hurt or who's not hurt. There you go. He's stomp, and all that stuff. You get a stump. You get a stump. As he helps Division win, as he Braun Breaker puts on the straps, then he takes them off again because why not? Goes in, spears Punk, and wins, and he is now, Team Vision win, and Roman, and he helps him, and he says shakes hands, and he doesn't, and he looked at Cody, and the crowd just has an audible it's just an audible disappointment when you look at Roman and Cody, because are we doing this again? They're running it back again. Cody. Oh, goodness gracious. Isn't this fun, ladies and gentlemen? We're going to run back Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns again because we have no new ideas, no new stars, nothing. We have nothing. No stars, nothing, ladies and gentlemen. They have nothing. They got nothing. Absolutely nothing. So that's WrestleMania for you, baby, by the way. So rematches, old versus new. Old probably going to win. Hell, I wouldn't be surprised if Seth Rollins comes in and make it a 3-way. And the ladies who bust their ass, who actually made this show, make the show watchable, are going to not just be basically be in the first. They're going to have their own women main event, a.k.a. the women just sit there and be like, well, it's going to be the opening match and everyone's going to forget about it. By the way, no one's talking about the Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, and Bianca match, by the way. No one talks about that match anymore. It's just Cody Rhodes versus Cena in that terrible match. That's all I have to say about that whole mess. Because it is. It's a mess, ladies and gentlemen. And well, I have talked about another mess, ladies and gentlemen. Thriller has been in a very bad position as of late. So we're gonna talk about it. We'll be right and what was good or what's bad about us, and all the other things. Anyway, we'll be right back right after this here live on the Dukect Lounge. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to click like, subscribe, tell all your friends, tell the people, tell everybody around you, tell them the Dukect Lounge, and that's where you hear old Dukect and everything else. And hopefully soon we'll be doing some live streaming video games. Hopefully we'll get that thing back running. Maybe next year, hopefully next year, we'll get it back and I can start doing some live streaming games. My hope is I can do some PS2 games and some PS2 and 1 games, which would be fun. And then we can do some old 360 games and all the stuff I have. Anyway, we'll be right back right after this here live on the Dukect Lounge. We'll be right back right after this. Thank you once again. We'll be right back right. Oh, let's see if I can just get rid of this. There you go. We'll be right back right after this here live in the Dukect Lounge. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks so much for being here. We'll be right back right after this. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for being here. Once again, it is a lovely Thursday evening. It's getting on to it's 10 o'clock at night. Oh, the bird. The nice little things happen at night. Positive things here, but also this is not positive. As let me just see if I can get this little thing here right up here, baby. So we share the screen. Well, this is something I saw a couple of days ago, 2 days ago, in fact. Got Fight Opinion just saw this little thing from Thriller from their lawsuit saying attorneys on behalf of Thriller in their New York lawsuit, defendants versus Yorkville advisors have filed papers claiming that Thriller hasn't communicated with counsel in 2 months and allegedly owes $28,000 plus in fees. This is Thriller's second batch of attorneys withdrawing in the case, and this is if you don't know what Thriller is, it is for a lot of people. It's a way to watch many independent wrestling, but also other stuff as well. I use it to watch. Because it used to be Fight TV, but now it's Thriller TV. It has many other things, including cricket and such. It had boxing. You got boxing, pro wrestling, TNA stuff, GCW. You got like BKFC, some MMA stuff. One Fall Wrestling, independent stuff there. There's a lot of stuff here. There's a whole thing here. And there is there's a lot of thriller, you know, like movie, not but stuff like that, boxing, pro wrestling, and this is one I ever did was the one thing I do, and funny enough, it is my way of watching pro wrestling. It's a way if I can watch professional wrestling, and it is one way I can watch wrestling. And with the VPN, I can watch good stuff with AEW. Eventually, I will go to HBO Max or stuff that way. Eventually, when everything is more settled, when I'm at, when I do, it's because it's just a lot cheaper. $20 is great. Better than using a VPN, doing all this type of stuff, and just to watch it. And it's like, hey, I don't have to worry about things. I don't have to worry about breaking the bank. But yeah, it is eventually. It will look like it's going to be close. If things look as bad as it does, because as I've been looking, it's been off of the Nasdaq. It's not looking good for them. When Thriller is, they've had this stuff. Lawsuits with musical rights and everything else for a while, and now it seems like it might be time to pay the piper. And now, what will be like? Because a lot of independent wrestlers use Thriller for their service, not just wrestling, but also cricket and everything else. And this is going to be a problem because hey, I watch Wrestle Dream, Forbidden Door. I watched the majority of wrestling I got from AEW it's from Fight TV, and luckily AEW has put the past stuff of All Out and all that type of stuff is on then HBO Max and everything. That's good, but I do worry because I guarantee how many people who are wrestling fans use VPNs, not just in this country, but also outside of America and everything else, and that don't have HBO Max. They can watch on Amazon, but that's going to cost a little bit more of a penny, access and everything. And that's going to be the one thing I worry about because maybe that's why they negotiated, got something for Amazon, and that sort of thing is happening now. So my worry is getting AEW, having AEW, being harder to get. AEW not getting a hard to acquire in these pay-per-views and everything. That worries me, and that worries, I guarantee it's worried a lot more people, and that's when I honestly, because right now, I remember seeing this. Let me see if I can get the tweet here, if I can find it. If I can find, if I can find. Mm, mm. Uh, okay. Yeah. Like I said, I need to find this thing. Let me see if I can get it. It's where is it? Where is it? Where? Oh, where? Let's see. I know it's there's this. What's this? Ah, here it is. I think it's somewhere about where is the DVD? Where is it? No, no, well, let's see where it is. Ah, here we are. Shoo, doo, doo. Okay. All right, let me just see this post. I think is right here. Load it up. Okay. Because I let me see, because I think it's Solid Monster posted. Oh, here it is. Let me see if I can get this. See if it's real or not. Hopefully I can get it. All right, let me share the screen because this is right here. One of my things here. Right here, it is going to be official. The WCW ESO library will be leaving Peacock at the end of this month. So accessibility and holding the old stuff there, to me, that worries me because we're living in this timeline of like where we're just because the old Hollywood just burned films because they had no space and no one wants or what have you. We're doing this right now in real time of like these companies just taking a blowtorch, a digital blowtorch, and just doing this stuff. They put it on YouTube, fine, but I feel like we just really missed having all that. I love having a network. I didn't like the product at the time, but I love watching the network, watching old wrestling, watching ECW, watching all that stuff. It was great stuff. Now it's all going to be scattered on the winds. You know? Um, yeah. And I look at this. This is messed up because now he's saying this person right here is like, oh, I'm going to be, oh, Netflix will have it. Great. So Monday Night Raw, all that stuff is now gone. Everything is gone. It's messed up, man. It's all the hard work and people like people who made those Raws and everything else are now gone. I don't know where you can find these Raws unless you put on a pirate hat. And believe me, you can find and like this is basically these companies are basically begging us to pirate. They're begging us to pirate now. They're begging us to pirate. And that's what we are right now. This is what we are. We're begging for them to pirate, and they're begging us to do it. And now we're stuck. And I really am just exhausted and sad. This really does, bother me. And That's my fear, ladies and gentlemen, is that they're just taking a digital blowtorch. And my hope is that they stop doing this. I hope is to just like to make sure these are places that are easier to go to. Otherwise, we're gonna be going to piracy. Who knows what type of weird malware, viruses, and all the type of stuff from there. And hopefully, that changes, and hopefully some people will finally get a place. We get all of the wrestling and everything else there. YouTube, fine, but I think that it's so much better if we actually had a place that actually has WCW, old Monday Night Raws, all that stuff under that one umbrella. We never knew how the W Network was good, and I liked it. I watched most of the stuff there, but now it's gone in some places, but now it's slowly going to be going away too in other countries as well. So enjoy that we can, and make sure we pick up your pirate hat, kids. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for being here, man. Um, I will be back next week, next Thursday, and hopefully a little more positive news. I think we need some more positive news, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully, this after this week, we'll talk about it and we'll have some fun and we'll have some good times, good laughs, good memories, and everything else in between. Anyway, this Duke CT here. Peace and love. I will see y'all when I see y'all later.